Hi, Kate French here. Just thought I would talk to you a little bit about the side-by-side practice and why it's called that and what we actually do here at the practice. So side-by-side has been with a frontage for nearly 3 years, but has been around for a little bit longer than that when I was still just renting a room in another child practice. And side-by-side to me is about walking alongside, metaphorically at times, your families and your clients, and in their journey to better emotional and mental health, and being a support, being a guide at times, and being able to really hold a safe space for them. So that's part of why side by side is a term that I really liked and wanted to put into the name of my practice. The other part was for literal reasons. So a lot of the work that I do, you may be aware, is with families that may be autistic or just less comfortable in a traditional kind of therapy space where there's often more face-to-face kind of contact. So with a lot of my work with kids and children and teens, we're often up at tables or on the floor alongside one another. So we're next to each other, near each other, but we're not necessarily facing one another. Being alongside allows for that proximity and that shared space, and no room and space to talk or play quietly together, but not having the intensity of needing to look to one another when we're talking or when we're playing. So reducing that eye contact. So that again really resonated well for me to be side by side. We're literally alongside one another. And again, because of the work that I do and my interest in this space, I felt that that was a really fitting kind of title. So that's sort of partly why that's been encapsulated. And so just wanted to talk a little bit about the kinds of work that I do. So I am a clinical psychologist by training and became interested in working in the developmental disability or autism area after working in disability in a big organisation, then working in mental health and doing autism assessments as part of what we did in a team there. So my interest really grew and grew from being fascinated to the actual assessment process using play tools and looking at play and social skills and interactions with people and making some sort of evaluation on whether there was enough difference there to qualify or accredit an autism spectrum diagnosis there. And then that assessment interest grew into wanting to work with families and children to support them in their well-being essentially. So my interest often has been in anxiety disorders and depressive disorders, and anxiety in particular as a diagnosis is heavily overdiagnosed, not overdiagnosed, but heavily seen, I suppose, more often seen in this client group than in a lot of other client groups. And so I was like, I want to do something to help these people with mental health difficulties, because that doesn't have to be the story. They don't have to have these challenging mental health issues and panic attacks if I can help them. And so that's sort of been my mission at the beginning, and it still is my mission now. And just my understanding and my knowledge and some of my tools has grown and changed over the years. So a lot of my one-on-one work is play and interest focused. Again, a safe relationship is incredibly important. So really putting the young person, particularly in the driver's seat, in terms of choosing me if they see that I'm a good fit for them, and making them feel really connected and understood before we're exploring anything like strategies and therapies and things like that. And again, that led into my work with families and parents, because they're a massive part of the child's system, the young person's system, and make a massive impact if they're all on the same page and all understanding what needs to be done to help their child that they're bringing to therapy, because they love them and they want their lives to be wonderful. So in terms of again working with families and being able to do that, one of the ways in which I do that is sometimes running parent programs, online parent programs. It has been the last couple of years, and Tuning Into Teens is a favourite one of mine because it really speaks to the emotional development of children and adults, and again that links really nicely into learning emotion regulation skills, which I think is paramount for mental health, positive mental health, and building on a strengths focused as well. So again, as I've grown as a psychologist in my knowledge and my skills, my real passion is again making sure that children and young people and adults are really aware of their strengths, and so making sure that there's a focus on that, not just the difficulties or challenges they might be having, and helping their system around them to celebrate those strengths, as well as not just families but their school systems and communities and things like that. So that's a big part of my drive to help that become a reality for families as well through those parenting programs. And that's also why running groups is really important too, because again, it's that system and it's that opportunity to see my clients and other kids in a different environment entirely. They give another chance to practice some of their skills they might have been working on, but just to have fun with other kids is really important, and especially again, a lot of the time, social engagement and social relationships can be extra challenging for different kinds of reasons. So having an opportunity to create a really positive space, a really fun space, really welcoming space, at the same time doing lots of cool learning, lots of cool creating, and being a part of a really positive part of a child and young person's life is incredibly rewarding for me, and a big part of why I do what I do. So the other aspect to Side by Side is our assessment arm as well. So we have Zoe, who completes assessments on a Saturday morning here at this stage, and that is looking at developmental differences and helping families and individuals identify whether autism, ADHD, or any other learning differences may be there that require some support or some interventions or recommendations. So that's a really important part of the practice as well, and hopefully one that we'll see growing as well in future times. So that's pretty exciting. And we also run some group programs during the term. So most of our group programs have been in our school holidays. Each school holidays we run a different group, different theme. But we've also been running this year and end of last year our Westmead Feelings program, which is an autism specific program, again focused on emotion regulation skills for kids in the age range between sort of 6 and 8. So we've only just finished our first round of that because it runs over 3 modules each school term usually, so it's like 15 sessions, so it runs for a while. So we've just finished our first one, so hopefully we'll be offering up some spaces for our next Westmead in the future. So I just thought I would share a little bit about what we do, why I do. I do have other online programs that I've developed for parents of autistic kids and teens, and that is sort of separate to the Side by Side. So that's under my Kate French name, but it's again with a focus on supporting families and guiding them to make their families and their own personal lives more fulfilling and increasing their well-being as well. So yeah, just a little bit about what I do here and the other kind of work that I'm doing to supporting clients and families in this space. So thanks for watching.